Back again, everyone. This is Computer Science 0478 IGCSE. In this video, I'm going to introduce the pre-release material pseudocode solution for the coming session, May-June 2020, paper 21. Before I start the pre-release solution, I would like to give a brief idea about what is the pre-release material. Since in computer science, you have two papers, paper 1 and paper 2. In paper 2, which is focusing on programming mainly, and section 2 of your syllabus, paper 2 is divided into two sections. Section A here, which is a pre-release material, the same thing that you have received this year, which is talking about 3 tasks you need to accomplish. And then in the exam, you will not be required to write the 3 tasks, but you will be given questions. For example, these kind of questions that has been given in year 2019, it will ask you about, for example, what variables that you have used to answer your solution for task 1 or any other task. And then another example here, state 1 variable you used in task 2. And then you start giving the variable name, data type, and the purpose of this variable. And also for another task, what is the variable names that you have used. Another type of question here will ask you to write an algorithm to show your how you accomplish a specific task. Okay, and some questions about some structures that you have used. Normally, this question is out of 6 marks. And then you will receive another question also to explain a specific point on a specific task, as here in this question, and it might worth like 3 marks. Another explanation for how you did a specific point in another task. And then section 2, you will receive the regular questions regarding your topics that you have studied in section 2 of your syllabus.
The situation here is talking about a shop sells a range of mobile devices, SIM cards, and accessories as shown in the table. The table here is showing like 10 mobile devices and then 2 types of SIM cards, 2 types of case, 2 types of charger. Your program must include the following points. Appropriate prompt. Appropriate prompt means that you need to show a message to the user to input something. Also, error messages must be shown also if the user inputs invalid data. For example, he inputs a price which is non-reasonable price, so this must be shown as an error message. All arrays and variables and constants must have meaningful names. Let's say, for example, you declared an array which is going to store the mobile devices. You cannot declare an array as and giving the name of the array as X or Y. You should give a meaningful name. Let's say, for example, mobile device array. Okay. So let's start by task 1 right now, which is talking about you have at the beginning to use appropriate data structure to store the item code, description, and price information for the mobile device, SIM card, and accessories. So you must declare a data structure. I'm suggesting an array here to store the items here shown in the table. So at the beginning, I will declare an array which has the identifier name of mobile device array. Okay, and it has the data type as string, and it will include elements inside the table. Okay, as you can see here it has the name of the device, which is a phone, and the item code and the description. This is for the first element in the table, and then we have like 10 elements. Okay, we'll do the same for the 10 elements. Now we will declare 3 or 4 other arrays. The first one is to store the SIM cards, and as you can see here, this is very important in the array to show that this data structure is an array by showing square brackets. Okay, and the data type is a string. So every array must have a name and the square brackets to show this is an array, and the data type, which is a string. Okay, and then the items which is going to be stored in this array, which is the SIM cards. We have only 2 SIM card types, and then we will declare another array array has a name, case, and a square brackets in the data type, the type of elements that you're going to store inside this array. We only have two case types, and also the same thing for the charger. We have two charger and the data type is string. For the price, which is the last column in the table, which is the price array, the data type is a real. Real means that you will have decimal points, number with decimal points. Okay, and as you can see here, you have 10 elements. Okay, as it is shown in the table here, that you have 10 prices. Okay, the second one here, which is talking about allow the customer to choose a specific phone or tablet. Okay, we need now to show that the user must use a specific must choose a specific phone or tablet. We will go through. We need to print the number of elements inside the array with array mobile devices. Okay, so we will use a data structure. We will use the for loop here, and don't forget that the for loop starts with 4 and ends with next. Okay, for counter equals 1 to 10. Number of elements inside the array mobile devices, and the index is the same thing as the counter here. So this will loop from 1 to 10. So the element number 1, number 2, 3, 4 till element number 10. So this simply is going to show the elements to the user so he can pick one of them. Okay, let's say he will choose number 4. A prompt needs to be shown to the user. Write a number to choose a phone or a tablet type from the list. So for example, he will input 4 and then press enter. Okay, what will happen here? Simply the user will choose, for example, number 4. What is number 4 here? We will go through the array, mobile device array. What is number 4? 1, 2, 3, and this is 4. Okay, 4. 4 is representing this item. Okay, so what I need here is to take the user input. This is 4. Okay, inside the mobile device array, and I will create a new array only to store the purchased items. Okay, the purchased item. So item number 4 now will be stored inside this array. Okay, so let's say that from the array mobile devices, this is number 4 here, which is representing index number 4, will be stored in the new array I have created here. Let's say this is a phone type of a phone. So this phone will be stored in the array item purchased that I've created to store the values, all the values that the user will choose. Now we have done with point number 1 and point number 2. Okay, now for point number 3, allow phone customers to choose whether the phone will be SIM free or pay as you go. Okay, and you need to pay attention that it's only for phone customers. Phone customers here means that only these elements from 1 to 6. Okay, so if the user chooses one of these things, you will show the option to choose SIM card type here, because tablets does not have a SIM card. How to do this? We will create an if condition here to make sure that the user only selected a phone, not a tablet. Okay, so if the user selection is ranged between 1 and 6, that means his option is to buy a phone, not a tablet. Okay, so you will prompt a user here to input 1 for SIM3 type, and then or he can input 2 also to choose the next type of SIM card, which is pay as you go. And then this value is going to be stored inside the variable. So you need to declare this variable at the beginning as integer. For example, declare SIM free or not as integer. Okay, let's say the user inputs 2. 2 means that he chose a SIM card pay as you go. Okay, which has the index of 2. What's the index of 2 in the array SIM card? This is the index of 2. Okay, this is pay as you go, which has the index of 2. What will happen now? So the value now of this element, which is index of 2 inside the SIM card array that we declared at the beginning. What's the SIM card array? This is the SIM card, let's remind you. Okay, SIM card array. Okay, we declared on top. Okay, so this item, which has the index of 2, will be stored in the purchased item array in the next position. So this one will be stored here. Okay, so this is the SIM card type, and the first one was for the phone, or it was for device. Okay, phone or tablet. Okay, will be stored in item purchased array. Okay, but if he chose one, so one will be stored here. Okay, I hope you can understand and get this point. Okay, now let's go for the next part, which is point number 4. Allow the customer to choose a standard or luxury case. Okay, since we have here a standard case, okay, or a luxury case. How to do this? Also the same thing here. We need also to prompt the user to press 1 for a standard or to press 2 for a luxury case, and then if the user, there's a mistake here, sorry. Okay, if the user chose 1, then take the item stored in index 1 and store it in the 3rd position. But if the user chose something else, which means 2, then take the luxury and store it in the 3rd position. So the 3rd position for the case. The 2nd position is for SIM card. The 1st position is for the device. Okay, inside the array of items purchased array. Okay, now we have done with the 4 points here. Point number 5, allow the customer to choose the charger required, and he can choose none, he doesn't need a charger, or he can choose one or both may be purchased. Okay, one or both may be purchased. That means he can choose none of these, or he can choose a car charger or a home charger, or both of them. So he has 4 choices. Okay, now how to do this? Also, we will use another condition types. We will use another conditional statements, which you are familiar with, which is the case of, otherwise, in the case. Also, we need to prompt the user here at the beginning. At the beginning of your answer, we need to prompt. How to prompt the user? By showing a message to him. Press required charger type. You can press 1 for none, or 2 for a car charger, or press on 3 for a home charger, or press on 4 for car and home. And we need to declare a variable charger choice on top at the beginning of your answer. How to declare a variable? Okay, declare, and then the variable name, which is charger choice, as integer. Okay, as integer. Now case, the variable name, which is choice, charger choice of, if he presses on 1, that means he didn't he doesn't want to buy a charger, none. So simply inside the 4th position of the purchased item, you will store none. Okay, if the user if the user doesn't want to buy any charger. Okay, but if he chose 2, okay, if he chose 2, that means he needs a car charger. Where's the car charger? This one, which has the index of 1. The index of 1. Okay, what is the index of 1? It's a car charger. Okay, so you inside the fourth position, the fourth location of the array, you will store here car. Okay, now let's erase all of these things. Okay, now if the user presses on 4, if he chose number 4, both, then the value inside this index and the value inside this index, 1 and 2, will be stored also in the fourth position. So both of them here will be stored here. And so car and home charger will be stored in the fourth position inside this array. Any other choice, this is validation also. If he didn't choose 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, so otherwise print invalid charger type selected, and nothing will be stored inside the array of items purchased. We have done with point number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now for point number 6, which is saying calculate the total price of this transaction. Okay, how we will do this point? Okay, since we have 5 arrays here, array for mobile devices, array for SIM card, array for case types, and then array for charger, and then the last array which contains all the prices of all the elements. Okay, let's say if the user, for example, he chose device number 2, the index of number 2. Okay, so we will go to the array of the prices which contains the same index. Okay, what is the content of the same index? It's 49.99. So the index of 2 inside this array, price array, which has the value of 49.99 plus the previous total price, which was 0, so the total will be 49.99. So this will be stored inside the variable total price. We'll do the same thing for this array, and the last array. Okay, now this is the point here. If he chose, for example, number 2, what is the price of 2? Okay, it's 49.99. It will be added to the total price. Okay, so now the total price contains only 49.99. Now we also need to add the value of the next items. Okay, what are the next items? For the SIM card. Okay, for the SIM card, if he chose, for example, 1, if he chose SIM card number 1, this one, which has the value of 0. So if he chose 1, so 1 will be added plus 10. Why we adding 10 here? Because we adding to the previous values of prices inside the array. This is value number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So 10 plus 1, which is 11, which is this item. This item is number 11. That's why we are saying we are adding 10 here. Okay, if he chose 2, so the value here would be 2. 2 plus 10, which is 12, which is pointing to this price, 12. Okay, so this will be stored inside the total price. The total price previously was 49.99, then plus 9.99. Okay, and these together are going to be stored inside the total price variable. Okay, now for for the case type, which could be standard or luxury, we'll do something different, but you can do the same. If his choice is 1, then add the previous total price plus 0. Why 0? Because the standard case price is 0. If he chose something else, then add 50 to the total price. 50, which is the price of luxury case. Now for the last point here, for the last price of the charger type, he might choose car or home or both of them or none of them. Okay, for example, if his choice is 1 for the charger type, that means we will need to add 19.99 to the total price. If he chose 2, the value of 2, so that means he wants to buy the home charger type. But if he chose 3, that means you need to add 19.99 plus 15.99, okay, and then add these together to the previous total price, okay. And if he chose nothing, no charger, then 0 will be added, 0 will be added to the total price. Okay, now this is the point number 6. Now let's move to the last point here, which is saying output a list of items purchased and the total price. This is very simple, very easy. Just we will print the array that we declared at the beginning, which is saying that items purchased, okay, and all the items ranging from 1 to 4. Since we already stored all the items inside the array items purchased array, we will just display all the items that we purchased. Let's say, for example, a phone which has this code, and a SIM card pay as you go, and case luxury case, and also for the charger type, and only we have array of four elements, okay. And then print total price for this transaction is the total price that keeps accumulating all through the device type plus the SIM card type plus the case type, and then plus the charger type. Okay, that's all for task 1. Hopefully you understand all the items.